Hey guys, we got a double feature here for you today because I wanted to take a minute to talk about style, and it doesn't really make sense to bring up a conversation about style if I'm only showing you one piece. So I'm going to be showing you two different pieces here that I did somewhat recently that are both illustrative in nature, but use different approaches and different techniques and ultimately different styles. So to me, I see a lot of artists on Twitter and on social media having existential crises about not being able to find a style or not having a consistent style or not having a style they're proud of or anything like that. And I just want to be there to let you know it doesn't matter that much. To me, style is just a shortcut. It's shorthand. And no matter how you look at it, whatever you're trying to apply as an element of style, that's all it's ultimately going to be, is a shorthand. Instead of drawing a fully rendered nose, you might just draw a couple of nostrils. You might draw a triangle. You might draw like a little C shape, a little curve or something like that. No matter what your style is, all it is something to visually signify that whatever you put there is a nose. That's all style is. That's the only thing there is to it. And it's not just for noses, it's for everything. Everything you draw is just shortcutting. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's an important thing to think about when discussing style, because it doesn't matter how you shortcut it as long as people can tell what you're drawing. I think having an established style, while it can be a useful tool, can also be a dangerous trap to fall into, because I've talked many times on this channel before about how important it is to continually challenge and push yourself. And if the only thing you do is draw in your quote unquote style, making the same shortcuts, drawing the same things over and over again, that you're not challenging yourself and you're not pushing yourself to do anything new. So it's very easy to, once you get a developed style, to just kind of be lazy about it and to not try to improve or develop it further or branch out and try other things. Because even if you have a style, there's nothing preventing you from trying out a different style. I don't really have one. I have a couple of things that I use. For example, if I'm doing an all-kill piece, I do try to keep in somewhat consistent style of illustration between all of those, because it helps link them together in a shared universe. Generally speaking, that's not even always the case, even for a project like All Kill. But outside of that, you know, in my last piece, I did a lo-fi girl. That wasn't my style. That wasn't like, it's just a way that I drew things that resembled a lo-fi girl. You know, but it was still like, you know, you could tell it's a toasty piece. I was able to insert sort of my own personality into it, which is why I think style is kind of an overrated word, because there's so much more that goes into a piece than style. You know, there's aspects of yourself that you can put into your art that go well beyond what people commonly think of as a visual style. And it's important to think about those and cultivate those along with whatever visual knowledge and visual library you're building up. So as we get to the end of this piece here, we can see that it's like, you know, semi-realistic with some, you know, kind of exaggerated features and things like that. You know, colored in, some light shading and sort of accents of texture here and there. But that was this piece, and this was like, this isn't my style. This is just me messing around with stuff. You know, I was just having fun with it, and I thought it looked good and it fit with the piece, so I kept with it. Now, as we get into the second piece here, this is an all-kill piece, so it's kind of using my illustrative style. It's kind of not. because it's also including like this Dead by Daylight character. So, you know, it's sort of a mix of multiple things. And I wanted to show off this piece because it's important when talking about style to sort of realize that not every picture deserves or warrants the same style. And you'll see where I sort of take a heavy departure from that later on in this piece. As I'm still sort of deciding where everything goes right now, it's a little bit by the book, but that does diverge a little bit later. Because different pieces require different things. For the Lo-Fi Girl piece, it required a certain style of illustration for it to work. For it to be a Lo-Fi Girl, it had to look like a Lo-Fi Girl. And for it to look like a Warhammer piece, it had to, you know, have that really dramatic dark lighting and things like that. If I want to do a photorealistic render, it doesn't make sense to apply any sort of illustrative style to it because the piece doesn't warrant it. If I'm doing a photoreferential piece like the first one, you know, I'll take a look at the picture that I'm trying to recreate and then I'll decide what sort of style I want to go for after that. I don't go into it being like, I'm going to make this in my style, because it wouldn't make sense to apply that to every single thing that you see. It's not like every drawing is a nail and you got a hammer and you're just hammering every nail. You know, sometimes they hit you up with a bolt or, you know, a screw, and then what are you going to do with your hammer? Not very much. Different scenarios require different tools, and it's important to be able to adapt to those different scenarios as they build up. And the other thing about doing that is you're expanding your visual library and becoming a better artist by not just sticking to one style. You're going to learn so many different things that you would never have noticed before or realized before. So here you can see I'm going for an extremely sketchy, extremely rough kind of line style here, which is not even anything I've ever done before, but I thought it matched the energy of the piece I was going for, which is kind of like frenetic. You know, it's two serial killers meeting up. It's going to get kind of wild and crazy, right? So I felt like it matched the energy of the piece and I wanted to try it out, and I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I didn't stick to my style by doing that. Likewise for the coloring here, I chose like a very simple color palette because it just felt right. It just worked. But had I just done this in my quote unquote style, I would have never kind of discovered what I think is a more enriched piece by doing a little bit of experimentation with it instead. So that's why I think style is just, it's not a dirty word. You can have a style. It's just important to not rely on your style all the time. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. So I hope you liked it, and if you did, please leave a comment, please leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and feel free to check me out on Twitch. Links below in the description. I stream all of my artwork there live, so if you want to catch me in the process, make sure to check that out as well. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.